And let me share my screen and go to desktop one. Cool. I get to sit and draw for a little bit. All right.
Phil?
Yeah.
For Monday, for actually turning in for critique, what should we like turn in for next Monday?
I just mentioned that
Oh,
to everybody. I said just turn in the 2 pages that we're doing for homework today.
Okay.
Some lecture. Okay, I just said it out loud like 10 seconds ago. It's all right. No, I just mentioned it. I just want you to make sure you're listening. So some people already showed me their other stuff, what I just mentioned a couple minutes ago. So if you like, did you finish the pages of the building organics and the pages of organics?
I'm almost
Okay, so yeah, when you finish those, you can show them to me. Some people, if you want to upload those real quick into the review, that's fine. Some people walk up and show them to me when they're working. That's what I was saying. Like, I don't think we necessarily have to upload those unless we have a specific questions. It was sort of like basic common sense or whatever. And then you can always bring your drawing up to me when I'm up here and ask me. You know, I was just covering the other information in the end of the recording, just so you know it. But yeah, so you're good.
Thank you.
Okay, no problems. I'm going to do a lot of what I was sort of demoing today in terms of just figuring out shapes and how stuff works from one side to another, you know, just keeping it simple. Freehand sketching. There's one over there. Behind where the red things are.
Hey Phil, I was wondering, could you possibly also post the page that you did in class?
Yeah, you know what? Let me hold on a second. Let me go grab it. What's funny is when I turned on all the layers, there were like tons of layers. So let me grab stuff and I'll move them over. And give me a second. Let me pause this. Yeah, I can put that up.
No,
because I thought of doing it and then I it's funny, the only difference between it's sharing the screen, right? Yeah, just making sure. Actually, I can't tell. Sharing screen, yeah, desktop one. Okay. What's funny is only if you're drawing a bug, some little differences between like a fin is a bug has this. It has like little points on it. So there's like really a lot of similarities between if you were to sketch a bug or a ship. It's just manipulating those shapes, you know. I know that voice. I'm Mr. Nguyen.
Oh, thank you.
How are you, sir? See that on the wing.
Let me know how it comes out.
It's also that thing, that don't, that, it's, oh, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm getting weird.
I drew this and then I realized I drew these front parts at a little bit of an angle. They should be going more straight like that, but that's okay. I can turn it real quick. Let me move that over. I thought I'd turn the recorder on real quick and just sit here and sketch a little bit and work on a couple ships. So what I'll do is I'll render this after class and then post it back up by tomorrow for you guys, but I already put the other lecture up from today. So I love playing music when I'm sketching. If I play music when I'm sketching, then YouTube will block the video. So let me put it up. I'm like, come on, YouTube. And then they're like, well, they sent me an email once. They're like, you have to ask permission. I'm like, I know, but I don't know who Spotify or Pandora is going to play, right? So if I don't know it, what am I going to email Moby right away and be like, hey, Moby, I love your music. Can I listen to it while I'm drawing? Which I'm sure he'd probably say sure, because he's a cool guy and he's a supporter of the arts. But, you know, I don't think he'd be too fond of me jamming on his music without asking him, you know. Oops.
Right, got the video blocked right away because it had like the Beatles. So
Oh, yeah.
I had to like completely change it, like.
It was so bad that one time that algorithm they have, it picks up like every amount of detail where I was just chilling and you know, there was something playing in the background, like backdrop music from another classroom, and it picked it up. And then what it did is YouTube went and then muted like 30 minutes of the video and said, we're not going to play this part of the video. So the video is me talking and then the background music, then it took out 28 minutes of silence. So it's just me sketching one. I'm like, come on, YouTube, don't do that. It's just, I'm not like using it for personal gain or anything, you know, it's just something that happened to be playing in the back,
That's what it is.
you know?
Like if I was trying to make money off of it, I could understand, but like posting it.
Yeah, but sometimes they take it, I don't know, I understand it, like, you know, it's not like we're Napster and we're trying to rip off people, but I get it, because a lot of companies and corporations will want to get paid for the music to be credited for it. The downside of that is then you have to do a demo in silence. And then at home, I have to go back, I have to edit it and then put royalty-free music in the background. And that takes hours to do. And I'm like, I just want to sit and draw and put it on YouTube real quick. And then it's like, nope, can't do that. We're not going to let you. I'm like, come on. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going over a lot of those same principles that we were drawing in class today. And remember how we were talking about different shapes? Look at how I'm changing my shapes here. I'm just having fun. I'm drawing through, I'm using my cross sections, you know, and it really just, it's an expedited flow. And if think about, look at how easy this is to just sketch. I mean, we're not talking like there's a center line down the vehicle, there's a center line coming off the back here. Look, I just round part of that. I might see a little, because of that angle, might see a little bit of a round slope on there. And the importance is just drawing through the shape. And look at that, that's not a complex shape. We've been doing that in class, doing other complex shapes. And then again, I like this thought of like expanding off of it. And that's what's really cool when you start getting into some types of concept. And it doesn't matter if you're doing like the one of the projects I'm going to post on Instagram that I can post now because the NDA is expired. I modeled this flying dirigible. So I sketched it first, designed it in thumbnails, then went right to Maya and made it. And it's just the feeling of being able to, I was sketching like this to get it approved. I'm just pulling out parts of ships and wings and pulling out the body shapes and getting stuff to fit in and looking at shapes overlapping, like see how this could be a round shape that like comes down here. That could be like an engine intake. And then that might slope around part of the body this way. When it slopes to here, part of that is elevated on this other surface and it comes to there. I mean, it's a beautiful, to me, it's a beautiful thing that you could be able to sketch something like that and have shapes existing on other shapes. And then you could still get in here and then you could start carving in detail like air intakes, stuff like that. And see, I'm still on the body. Nothing's really changed. I'm just sketching ideations going along, putting contour line. What I was going to do here is put a thick fin coming off of this. Let me zoom out really quick. Let me move my other ship right here and I'll put that to the side. So when I go to post this video, I might just throw it up on YouTube real quick and link it to the class. If you're wondering, why is it so quiet and there's no music in the background? Well, I didn't have time to go home and put in, you know, something that's royalty free and do that. I just thought it's cool to put up. The other thing that's weird too is I get all these analytic reports from YouTube. I put up these demos that I do in classes that are an hour and a half long. And then it told me the other day, the average time length of a video watched online is only 5 minutes. So I should just be putting up like 10-minute videos. And that's what my buddy, a friend of mine, Evan Hurst, who runs Cartoon Block, that's what he does. He puts up these really simple videos and he keeps them in a lower time frame. You know, so I was telling people online that I would try to do more posts. And so here it is. I'm going to continue working. So I'm just going to eyeball this. This insertion over here is going to be about there. So it's going to, I'm using this center line to guide me. It's going to come out about there. So that means this curve of that air intake is going to come out about there. And from this angle, I will see how it curved back to there. That's about there. So I'm going to see that air intake curve back in that direction on the other side of the vehicle. And then I'm going to take that line there and that sort of angled back. It was and see how it goes past right here. So when I bring this back, it's going to go past a little bit like that. And I know it's going to be foreshortened, but I'm going to be able to see some of it come up and then around like this. And then after, actually, hold on, that round, I might have just too busy talking. It goes straight out and curves down. So let me follow that again. Let me trace it down a little off. It should be coming towards me a little bit like this. And then when it hits about there, this is going to come and around and downward like that. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Okay, and I might be a teeny bit off, but hey, it's speed sketch, right? So I'm going to go in, throw a line so I know where that fin's going to be right there. I'm going to follow that angle, come back and throw it on the other side. And looking, if I get it right about there, that feels like it's full on. I'm drawing on an angled Cintiq with a ruler on a ergonomic arm, so it does shake a little bit. Every now and then I get the wrong line in. And then if I follow that center line back, follow that line back to there, boom, hit that middle part, come back, look at the insertion, the back of the ships there. That means that fin should be coming at an angle, following off of about there, about here, and then it bends. So if I put a measure on the bend, and I throw that in right there, and I end that about right there, I'm going to curve that. And by the way, that's not going, so if you look at it in a perpendicular angle, see how that's going straight? I have a bend on it. So as I got to come back here is keep that slip, find that perpendicular angle on my ship that's going parallel to that line, and then when this ends right here, I'm just gonna angle it in a little bit more like that. Does that make sense? Trying to match that curve on the other angle, and it is foreshortened, so it does look a little bit different in the sketch, but that's okay. That's to me the easiest way to figure that out. And then that fin's gonna come back into there and it's foreshortened, there it is. So hopefully that makes sense. And then I'm looking at it now. If I follow that angle up to there and go a little bit above that center line, I might be a teeny bit off on that angle, but again, we're just doing, this is like what I want you guys to get used to is a quick sketch. So that's all right. You don't have to, we don't have to make everything like super duper tight. Just getting in there, sketching, and then you get in this habit of using center lines to your advantage, right? So I'm gonna protrude that shape out a little bit more, like so. And I'm gonna come over here and do that same thing. I like putting these little, oops. I'm gonna put a little insert for a wing, and I like wrapping, when you look at a lot of fighter planes and helicopters, they have like metal that streams over the top of it. I know this is starting to look like a Klingon ship. It wasn't intentional, but here I'll throw a fin going in. I'll just make it Klingon-y, I guess. Klingon would have that type of shape language. And then I might do a fin that comes out and then maybe protrudes a little bit like that. Something a little bit different. And so let's transfer that to the other side. So we come over here, we draw through the shape, follow that curve, see where that lands, come over here, sketch it. My whole thing, and by the way, this is a little bit of an angle, so that angle on the other side is going to be lightly tilted about there. And so my whole thing that I like to communicate to my students in class is that, you know, when you're working on a project for somebody, you don't have always, you know, people get in the habit of having hours to get something done. And you got to get in the habit of getting something done in a quick sketch in 5 or 10 minutes, showing it to a director or a supervisor, getting it approved, and then you move forward from there, if that makes sense. Let me move this over a little bit. That's pretty good. And so here we go. Let me, oops, I think I moved them all over again. So there I am. I'm roughly about, I think about 20 minutes into that for just rough sketching. And that's sort of what I was hoping you guys would do in class. Do you see the similarity between ships and buds? You see how I could turn them either way, depending on the detail. And I didn't do any detail. I just wanted to block out the rough sketch and the angle to get you thinking about that first for class. Because if I do it and I practice it, you can do the same thing. It's just about the mileage that you contribute to your work, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recorder so I can render this. I'm gonna post this up on YouTube real quick. And those of you on YouTube, I'm trying to get more stuff up on a regular basis. I will be engaging a lot more. I'm gonna be doing some live streams coming up too. So I'll talk to you guys soon, and everyone take care. Those of you in class online, I'm gonna let you go because we're wrapping up right now. And I'll see you back on Monday, okay? All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.